whenever you are in the world, welcome to the Happiness Hacking TV show and podcast, a place to inform and inspire you to live a happier and more abundant life. I'm Patricia Maddalena, NLP Master Trainer and Integration Therapist, an international best-selling author of The Happiness Hacker Reveals. If you've not yet ordered a copy, then please do so. Go and grab one so that you can access all of the amazing bonuses and trainings that I've created to help you have a more abundant and happier life. So welcome to episode 9. Are you in burnout? And the 3 steps to self-care. So we're just going to dive straight in, answer these questions. Just go with the first answer that pops to your mind. Okay, so are you able to put your needs and desires first on a daily basis? Are you able to nourish yourself with good food and good water and exercise and rest and play on a daily basis? Are you able to listen to your needs and actually act on them? Giving yourself permission, prioritizing yourself on a daily basis? Or do you just bounce from job to job, task to task, in service to another or in service to lots of others, and leaving yourself last, if not at all, on a daily basis? So not being able to do all of those things each day for ourselves is a pretty rubbish place to be, and it can really impact on our mental and emotional well-being. And though sometimes we're running on empty and we don't even realize it, we're on this conveyor belt that we call life, and that just keeps going and going and going, and we just keep getting faster and faster and faster, trying to catch up with everything, until at some point we fall off and we become snappy and intolerant and exhausted and angry and then ill. But this can go on, it can go on, and it can go on, it can go on for quite some time before we realize that no one else is going to give us permission to go and fill up. Seldom will someone recognize that you've been up against it and on high alert, and you've been giving and giving and giving far too much on a day-to-day. Seldom will someone say, "Darling, put your feet up. I'm looking after the kids, or doing X, Y, and Z. You take some time out, you fill up, you deserve it." Seldom does that happen. And why? It's because we're all up against it. And we're all firefighting life. And we're all not recognizing that we need that in ourselves. So if we can't recognize that in ourselves, how on earth are we going to recognize that in our beloved others? It's really up to us to give that to ourselves. It's up to you to recognize your signals that you're running on empty, and then give yourself the time out that you need. One of my signals is my emotional body starts spilling out all over the place. Yeah, I feel really resentful, and I literally start to do things through gritted teeth. Those are my signals. Those are my signals that I'm doing too much. And that's physically, but also for me, it's more mentally. I'm mentally doing too much, because us women in particular, we carry a hefty mental load. Yeah, we hold the intricacies of life and all the possible variations of each member of our family, of our jobs, of our businesses. All that stuff in between life is held in our minds and carried around metaphorically on our shoulders and in our necks and in our hearts, weighing us down more so than any physical job could ever do. Do you know what I mean by that? Yeah, I'm sure you do. That mental load. So the first step in being able to give back to yourself, giving yourself some self-care and compassion and love, is to actually recognize that you need to. It's to recognize where you're at right now, that you are in burnout mode, that you're giving way too much of yourself every day. To recognize that you need to apply some of that self-care and love and compassion that you dish out to everyone else to yourself. You have to give yourself time to pause and slow down and recognize that you cannot do everything for everyone all of the time. And that's okay. That's okay not to be able to do that. And it's more than okay to give yourself some time and some care and some attention. In fact, it's way more than okay. It's super important that you do, because if you don't, you will get ill. If you carry too much responsibility and you're never putting that down, it will really impact on your mental, emotional, and physical health. And then everything suffers. Everything suffers. Yeah. Your family, your businesses, your jobs, it impacts heavily. It's like a little ripple effect all the way down the line. So giving yourself some much needed recoup time, however that may be for you, fills you up and benefits not just you, but your family and your jobs and your businesses and the whole of your life. That will ripple out too. So step one is recognizing where you are right now. And when you do, then you can do something about it. So step two is remembering what actually fills you up, what you actually like and love to do. Yeah, big and small. But this can be hard when we're out of practice, at giving to ourselves. Because I've done this. I've found myself just wandering around, not knowing what to do when the other whole had taken the kids out for the day. I just couldn't remember what I liked to do or what there was to do. Yeah, I was like wasting that precious time because I didn't know what to do in it. And then I felt really guilty. I was wasting that precious time doing nothing, wondering what to do with it, but not knowing what to do with it. So I got to the point where I just sat down and wrote a long list. I wrote a long list of all the things that I love and like to do, little things and big things, from cooking to reading to having a luxury bath. And it was like pulling teeth, I have to admit. And I had to keep going back to it and adding another one. Oh yeah, I'd like to do that. Yeah, until I got this really, really long list of all the things that really rocks my boat and fills me up. So that when I'm feeling unresourceful and in that place, I can just refer to it and get some inspiration. So I recommend getting a little book and writing at the top of the page things that fill me up. And then make that really long list of all those experiences, big and small, that you enjoy doing. Because all those little things, they add up. You know, having a luxury bath rather than one of those working baths or working showers where you're just, you know, maintaining yourself. But having a really luxury bath, you know, in Japan, they have showers first and then they sit in really beautiful hot baths just simply to relax. And part of that is, you know, once the body is heated up, so a nice hot bath will make the heart rate go. And it kind of, whilst it's relaxing all the muscles and whatnot, when you get back into bed and you're about to go to sleep, it feels like you've done a little baby workout. So it's kind of makes you feel super relaxed and tired. It could be anything: coffee and a catch up with a friend, reading, walking, painting, tennis, baking, taking time out to moisturize the whole of your body, you know, having a date with your mate. Just take your time, get a really, really long list of all the things that you really enjoy to do. Because when we give to ourselves, and it doesn't have to be expensive and it doesn't have to take up a lot of time, we energetically fill up. And when we energetically fill up, we just feel happier. And for me, simply sitting down and consciously eating my lunch rather than eating whilst working on my computer was an utter revelation and totally changed how I felt energetically. I didn't feel so drained at the end of my working day. Because not giving yourself in the long run results in way too much time out from our families, our friends, our jobs, because eventually your immune system will crash, you'll get ill. In my experience, it can be super expensive. But just deciding to listen to yourself a little bit more, you'll be able to act on your little signs that you're doing way too much way before they become the screams. Yeah. Noticing your little signs way before they become the screams, and you act on them with your long list of things that fill you up and make you feel happier, will just be so beneficial for yourself and your family and your friends. So step 3 is action. It's actually up to you to reorganize your day to allow the time for you to fill up and take those self-care opportunities. Yeah, so now creating a self-care routine, it doesn't have to take up too much time or money. You just have to think about what kind of things you would like to do. And it may be as simple as having breakfast without checking your emails, or it could be setting aside 20 minutes, 10 minutes of yoga, 10 minutes of meditation. Putting your mat out right by your bed is a real inspiration. But it's up to you to know the kind of things you'd like to do, and then look at your schedule and fit it in. So personally, I've been setting time aside to do my journaling and doing some active meditation and mantra processes, which uploads new beliefs straight to my subconscious mind really quickly, really easily, but using that ancient art of meditation. So I've given myself 30 minutes every other evening, myself and my journal and my time, and that's all 30 minutes, and it's just been wonderful. I really feel like I've filled up on all those levels. But I totally get it. I know it can be really tricky when we have family and we have businesses and we have jobs that rely on us being there 24/7. You know, it's tricky when we have taken on full responsibility of being the one and the only one that can do all those things and be all those people for the family and businesses and jobs that we have. Yeah, all of those hats that we wear every day: mum, wife, partner, taxi driver, nurse, counsellor, what else am I? Accountant, domestic engineer. Yeah, I mean, there's loads of hats that we all wear every single day, but you've taken on the responsibility of wearing all of those hats. And it's only you that can give yourself permission to stand down from it all every now and then. Take those hats off and say, I need a bit of fill up time. I need a little bit of alone time, or I need a bit of partner time. Because to put your needs and desires as a priority, it ought to happen every day. So many of my clients, so many of my students and my friends simply can't find the time. I haven't got time, Trish. No, there's no time. Da, da, da. But here's the thing, I'm going to pop your bubble. There is time. There is time. Yeah. There actually really is time. You just have to give it to yourself. You've just got to see that there is. Look at your schedule, look at what you're doing, and give yourself that little bit of time. Start with 10 minutes. Start with half an hour. Just give yourself a commitment, a promise that each day I'm going to give myself that little bit of breathing time. But I know it's difficult. I know it is difficult. But there are so many ways that you can help yourself create more of a self-care routine. One of the things that I do is I use my self-care quest. It will clear away the guilt and the shame, yeah, and the blame, and it will transform your mindset and your outlook on life, so that giving to yourself what you need when you need it becomes easy and effortless day to day. And you can find that self-care quest over at my shop at www.livingfree.eu, And as a special thank you to my followers, just apply the code selfcare1 and you'll receive a massive 50% discount. But it's important to clear away those blocks that are stopping you from loving yourself that little bit more and finding that compassion and that care for yourself a little bit more. So, you know, use that quest over and over again when you feel that resistance to giving yourself that time out, or for giving yourself that extra little bit of care and compassion. Use that quest. All you have to do is put your headphones on, lie back and press play. But it's a game changer. But that you can also do practical steps to help you action a more beneficial self-care routine. So look at that long list that you created and come up with a daily routine that fits and that you'll enjoy. And it can be really, really simple, and it can be just 10 minutes. Yeah. So come up with that and make a plan and carve that time out for yourself. And the other thing that I used to do as well, which is really lovely, is you can cut out and fold up each one of those self-care ideas and put them in a jar, and then just literally pick them at random, pull a few out, and then spread them out over your month. Yeah, so pen them into your diary or calendar, and then as you're going through your week, you'll see that that's your time where you and your mate is having a date, or a luxury bath time, or where you go for that lovely connection walk in the woods. Put them in your diary, because you will be surprised that once they're in your calendar, once they're in your diary, you will just find yourself doing them. So I'm going to leave you with this lovely little daily practice that I do each morning, and which you can do each morning. It's really super simple. So just get yourself ready, just sit up tall in your seat, and I'd like you to shut your eyes and place one hand on your heart and the other on your solar plexus, and take 3 deep breaths in through your nose, and then a lovely exhale out through your mouth. So a really big sigh, letting it all go. So 3 lovely deep breaths in through your nose, and then a lovely out breath, really letting it go. And then one more. And then relaxing your jaw, quietening your breath. Just relax the whole of your face and that little bit of skin across your forehead. Just bringing your focus of attention down and into your heart. And then in the middle of your mind, finish this sentence. Just for today, I give myself permission to. And then just gently opening your eyes. Okay. I love doing that every single morning. Just sets me up for the day. So thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you. And I will see you next time for another episode of the Happiness Hacker Reveals with Patricia Maddalena. So I'll see you next time. Thank you.